Bitcoin is in a state of euphoria. By the end of this video, I want to tell you why you're not too late. There's a lot of people out there going about the fact that, hey, Bitcoin's run, so I guess the party's over, right? I don't think it is, and given my experience, my extensive experience being full-time, over 2,000 videos and thousands of hours researching the crypto space, I'm going to be telling you in this video why I don't think you're late, some things I'm looking at, plays, etc. If you enjoy the content, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So here's what's going on in the Bitcoin super cycle. It feels like it's absolutely insanity. We're doing what we did last time. That's exactly what's going on right now. Bitcoin right now is absolutely moonshotting. You know that. It's at $87,000. It could be at $88,000, $86,000, who knows? But at the time of upload, right now, Bitcoin is going absolutely parabolic. There's no denying it. President Trump has gone ahead and won. And because of that, everybody is anticipating the most absolute ripper adoption in Bitcoin's history. Now, with this being said, if you go to the cryptocurrency markets right now and you filter through the past 24 hours, there's a lot of coins that are up a lot. For example, Kronos is up 44%. I've talked about Kronos a lot in the channel before. Dogecoin's up, Based Brett, all these things are up quite a bit. And you've got Bitcoin here, up 10% on the day. Now, why in the world are we not in an altcoin season? Why is it not too late to buy cryptocurrency? It's time to answer that question. So first off, this is the altcoin season index, very famous for going ahead and showing you whether or not it is altcoin season. If you are curious on what this thing tracks and the logic behind it, it is simply going to go ahead and tell you how many coins are outperforming Bitcoin in the top 100. It's as simple as that. If most altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, then it means we're in an altcoin season. If most altcoins are not outperforming Bitcoin, then guess what? We are not in altcoin season. It's actually top 50. But anyway, the point still stands. If most altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, we are in altcoin season. If most altcoins are not outperforming Bitcoin, we are not in altcoin season. As you can see here, clearly there have been some outliers that have been absolutely ripping it. Sui, we've talked about on the channel. Doge, very obvious play with Elon Musk. And then there's Phantom, Tau, some of these other cryptocurrencies that you don't really know too much about, but are still running and outperforming Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is up 45% over the past 90 days. And yet, most cryptocurrencies are not outperforming Bitcoin. It's simple as that. So if we're not in altcoin season, but Bitcoin is absolutely ripping, does this mean that altcoins are not going to run? Well, that's the point of this video. That's what I'm talking about here. So what do we know is happening in the crypto space right now? What are the macro conditions for altcoins right now? The first one is Charles Hoskinson. He's gone ahead and joined crypto advisory for the United States. Whether or not it's for Donald Trump himself, we don't know. But he is going ahead and advising cryptocurrency regulation in the United States. Enormous deal, means that the United States is very clearly pro-crypto. The Senate, the House, the President are all pro-crypto. This is great news for us, especially in this super cycle. However, he's not president yet, quite literally. Still Biden, Harris are in the helm. And so we're going to have to go ahead and wait until he becomes president before we start getting a lot of these pro-crypto bills passed. With this being said, we're starting to see some big runs in some altcoins, including Cardano, because of the news that I just talked about. Charles Hoskinson went ahead, created Cardano. And so we're expecting Cardano to do pretty well. But why is Cardano only up 71%? Well, it's because of capital rotation. Now, in its simplest terms, if you had $1,000, let's say in this magical world, you just have magical $1,000, would you rather put it in something that is pretty safe, gonna go ahead and do a 3 to 10x? I mean, I'm talking about $300, $1,000, depending on how much you have it. If it was $1,000, it could be $3,000, $10,000. Pretty damn good return in a year. Or would you rather risk it for the biscuit on the next thing? Well, for most people, they would just rather put it on the safe 3 to 10x. I mean, that's insane returns. And so that's exactly what's going to happen. If the market is in a euphoric state, most people are going to want to get into Bitcoin. Just makes sense, right? In fact, if you look right now at Bitcoin dominance is trending up. which means that Bitcoin's strength relative to every other coin in the market is growing. Bitcoin is going up more than every other altcoin. Altcoin season comes when, of course, this trends downward and altcoins begin to trend upward. It makes a lot of sense. It happens because people start to feel like Bitcoin isn't really worth the risk to reward. It's not worth putting in $1,000 into Bitcoin if I think I can only maybe get $2,000 out of it. When this other altcoin, let's say just, I don't know, Ethereum or Solana, that thing could still go up 10x. I could still make $10,000 out of this thing. If I can only make $2,000 out of my Bitcoin, maybe I'll actually go ahead and take the risk and go into Ethereum. And then Ethereum starts pumping, hits $10,000, starts going absolutely parabolic. We see, oh well, Ethereum has gone up so much. Maybe it's time to start looking at other cryptocurrencies. So what do people do? They sell their Ethereum and they go into XRP. XRP goes to $3. Oh my God. XRP is going absolutely parabolic. And then it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. So you go all the way down this list and you just keep going and going and going and going until you run into a wall and everybody's getting scammed at the 400s. I mean, that's pretty much what happens. That is the definition of altcoin season. And yet you haven't even seen the run into Ethereum yet, or Solana, or BNB, or any of these top altcoins. Therefore, it is clear as day that altcoin season has not begun and it is not too late to get into crypto, especially considering Bitcoin historically has performed in a very, very specific way. If history repeats itself, we are still early on in this Bitcoin run. Let's keep going over some of the macro news in the crypto space. First off, everybody's freaking out over Bitcoin. It just keeps going up. I mean, yeah, I think all your friends are probably talking about it at this point. Binance has gone ahead and began listing random meme coins. So the Binance intern is getting rich. Good for him. We love the Binance intern. Shout out to the Binance intern. But what's happening right now is a lot of random coins are beginning to get listed. This is a very early sign of what an altcoin season could look like. When altcoin season is actually here, we're going to start seeing these every single day. There's no denying it. These centralized exchanges are going to want to cash in on all of the volume that's coming in. So we're going to see tons and tons of random listings from random coins you don't know about. It started today, but it really hasn't taken off. Other things, the feds are cutting rates, and we're expecting this man, Jerome Powell, to continue to cut rates. And this man actually has a lot in common with Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, I know, it's crazy here, Winnie the Pooh. So Winnie the Pooh here is cutting benchmark interest rates by 25 basis points as well. So China is going ahead and cutting rates, which means more money because people can borrow with less interest, so they're more willing to do it. And then it also means that the United States is doing this. And so if I put 1 + 1 together, it means moon. Simple as that. There's more money coming into the markets. Things are going our way. And Florian here couldn't have put it better. The 2020 playbook is happening again. Gold is jumping. It's going down. Oh, because people are hedging it with Bitcoin. They know that the US is going to make a strategic reserve with Bitcoin because Trump has said it. So Bitcoin is mooning right now. The same exact thing happened in 2020, where gold topped, had its correction, and at the same time, Bitcoin had an absolute ripper run. And this is despite the fact that the dollar, the US dollar, is right now strengthening. It's getting stronger, which usually is a bad thing for Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is just so strong right now that it does not care. Simply does not care. We're rapidly approaching the 6+ year trend line for USDT dominance. The lower this thing goes, the higher the price for coins. And if this thing breaks down to these levels, it is going to be an absolute ripper for altcoins. So some very critical levels here for altcoins is what we're getting at. The fear and greed index is pretty high though. So I do want to give a little bit of a warning here. It is pretty high. Here's what's going to happen, okay? If history repeats itself. We're going to look at the Bitcoin chart right now at the alt chart. What happened back in 2020 was very simple. The price went absolutely parabolic over here at the end of the year in 2020, which is exactly what's happening right now in 2024. 2020's equivalent from last cycle is 2024. So we are doing the exact same thing we did back in 2020. If we get the same repeat, we're expecting at some point or another a correction. It is likely that around this point around this point, we're going to have this micro correction right here. It is normal. Don't freak out if it happens. We're likely to continue to run into the end of the year. So a $100,000 Bitcoin isn't out of the cards for the end of this year. And I mean, at this point, is honestly pretty realistic. I mean, Bitcoin's at $87,000. If we get this absolute ripper in Bitcoin, we need to see a major correction. When was that major correction last cycle? Well, that major correction was around March. March was the first top. This is around 850 days into a cycle. That's the number you have to focus on. So 850 days from the start of this cycle is March. There's a chance that March could be the absolute pico top of the cycle. And so we're likely to see altcoins run into January. December should be the start of a huge altcoin season. So prepare accordingly, of course. Do your own research. Get into cryptocurrencies. Assume the risk. December should be the start of a mini altcoin season into a January ripper. It's when we should start seeing things run like crazy. March, if this thing tops, we hopefully, if we get enough volume is the big number. Right now, if you actually look at the volume numbers, it's this little thing right here. I'm going to go ahead and just put this little line here. Everything below this is volume numbers. Right now, volume numbers are actually higher than they've ever been. 2021 numbers are right here, and 2024 numbers are right here. So they're actually higher than they have quite literally ever been. We've never had as much volume as we're having right now in the cryptocurrency space. It's absolutely crazy. And so we're expecting, if this volume continues to trend in this direction, that we're going to have an exact repeat of what happened in 2021. We're going to see this major correction, and then if there's enough volume to back it up, we're going to see a second top, and it's GG. With this being said, how am I playing this? Well, I'm being logical. I'm going to be taking profit in January. I mean, it is what it is. January, February, I'm going to be taking profit. Am I taking profit on all my bags? Absolutely not. I mean, that would be absolutely insane. Leave moon bags. But I will begin to take initial profits around that time. I should expect a run in December into January. That's going to lead me into taking some profit to take my initial base down, and then we'll see what happens. After this correction starts to happen, I want to wait until Bitcoin goes down around 30 to 40%. With this being said, because of the way that the crypto cycle works, I'm also expecting that this drop isn't going to be as violent as prior crypto drops. This has happened every season. It gets normal. It's called the law of diminishing returns, where Bitcoin is probably not going to go up as high in terms of multiples. Bitcoin went up 10x one season. The next season might be 5x. The next season after that might be 3x. We could be wrong. This could be the craziest cycle ever. But the way I'm playing it is how history has played itself out. I'm not going to try to guess what is going to happen. I'm going to follow what history has gone ahead and given us in terms of what can possibly happen with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has shown us that history tends to repeat itself. Now, if Bitcoin gets this exact same thing, we should see a very similar situation. And so 200K Bitcoin, 300,000 Bitcoin is actually not crazy. Of course, I'm not telling you to hold until 200,000 Bitcoin. I would expect you to take some level of, profit by that time. If you hold all that, then you're likely going to hold it all the way back down. But that's where the cards are at right now. Altcoin season from its 2025 all-time high, people are predicting somewhere around $3.8 trillion. 2021's all-time high hasn't even been hit yet in terms of altcoins. And we know how many more altcoins there are. About $1.1 trillion is what we're looking at. We're still at 743 billion. We're still chopping. We just haven't hit that altcoin season just yet. And so this is big news for the crypto space. How am I personally preparing it? Well, I'm looking at market trends. MicroStrategy and Coinbase, they're two stocks. MicroStrategy is actually very famous. Michael Saylor's the guy that went ahead and did this. He invested a lot of money into Bitcoin with MicroStrategy. Their stock has absolutely been killing it. And at this point, they've created a cult. Coinbase, pretty much the biggest crypto exchange in the US. They're a public company. They're both at the same price. So there's two cults going after each other, and they are going absolutely parabolic in the stock market. It's leading to a lot of buy pressure inside of crypto because of what we're seeing inside of MicroStrategy. And these aren't small stocks. I mean, this is an $83 billion stock, and MicroStrategy is at $67 billion. So these are very large stocks, and they're both creating their own cults at this point, like the GME, AMD craze. The same thing is happening once again with Coinbase and MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy. We want to see corrections on these before we get a full-blown altcoin season, then I expect them to continue to outperform. I think MicroStrategy is going to ultimately beat out Coinbase over the long term. Okay, that's great. So in terms of altcoin picks, because you came here for this, right? I've got to tell you, if you don't understand what I'm about to talk about next, watch this video that I'm going to go ahead and pop up. But crypto gaming nodes are my big play. Here's what's happening right now in the crypto node ecosystem. There are a lot of tokens that are going to be coming out. And back in 2020, we had a different playbook. 2017, different playbook. 2017, we had ICOs. 2020, we had pre-sales. In 2024, we have nodes. Nodes, they're the most fair distribution. You help support the blockchain. You get a percentage at TGE. They get loyal holders at low valuations. You're more likely to go ahead and support the project over the long term. New holders come in, you support them, everybody wins. What's happening with these days, the node ecosystem as well? A repeat of what happened to Helium. Helium was an absolute killer play back in 2021. These little miners just went so crazy. And by the way, Helium, you could actually use this in the T-Mobile network. It is just absolutely crazy what they've gone ahead and done. This thing went from $1 all the way to $51 in record time. It wasn't a long time. It was less than a year that it did a 50x. Absolute parabolic move to the upside. I mean, if you even track it at the 2020 levels, it was even lower than that. So this thing went ahead, it TGE'd, absolutely went crazy. And people had these Helium miners that gave them this cryptocurrency, and it decentralized the whole data sphere. That way, people can get their data from all over the world, connect from wherever they wanted, and be okay. That's why they've partnered with T-Mobile. That's why people can get data service from all over the world from these miners. So the same thing is happening for what Earnum is building. They've gone ahead and actually made an enormous amount of money. I mean, $325 million has been earned and saved by their streamers. They're going to be on Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, Target. They have 5% of all the transactions on Polygon. Millions upon millions of dollars have actually been earned from what Earnum is building. It is absolutely crazy. They have some of the biggest partners within the space. Look at these clients: Disney, Zynga, TikTok, Pokemon, Candy Crush. Enormous. And all of it at a pretty low valuation. So I'll be leaving the link if you guys want to get into this. I have one of these little smartphones. I think it's behind me or next to me. It's pretty close to me, but this thing is absolutely crazy. Other things, revolving games. These guys came way back in the day. Remember, they were marketing with Gala. Nowadays, they're in their own ecosystem. They have a Forex strategy. This thing is really hyped. In fact, if you look at my allocation right now, I've got 510,000 of these things. You plug in a Scout node. This public sale is happening on November 14th. I'll also leave a link. This is called Revolving Games. Use code JM if you want to go ahead and get 10% off. But I bought, over $6,000 worth of these things, and I'm planning to see if I can snipe more. This is the idea behind the node ecosystems. They allocate a majority of their supply into nodes, into these long-term holders, and then they tend to do pretty well. Other things that I'm looking forward to in terms of sales: Blast Royale has their whitelist live. They have a 10 mil FDV. Most gaming tokens have been absolutely mooning. There's actually a brand new narrative when it comes to crypto games, and that is the decentralized exchange approach. There's tokens like Xborg, which launched during the recent bear. This thing absolutely mooned, did very well. We also have S-World, which is Seed World, which is as well done very well. We called this on the channel. Shout out to everybody that went ahead and got in. It has been an absolute mooner, and now I expect Blast Royale to continue to do the same thing. And so I am personally going ahead and getting a bag of Blast Royale, and I look forward to their TGE come November 13th. Now, altcoins that have launched that are simple, that if you told me you were new to crypto, can I go ahead and get into them? I just gave you the more advanced ones. If you're new to crypto, this is the part you want to listen to. So, cryptos that I'm very bullish on. Avalanche is the first one. I believe that the United States is going to become an absolute force in the cryptocurrency space. The US has been a laughingstock for the longest time when it comes to US adoption. But now, given the new environment with politics, I believe that crypto is going to be pretty much one of the most important, if not the most important conversation. Finance, the transition of our monetary currency into Bitcoin, etc. Avalanche is the leader for the US adoption movement, I believe, in terms of altcoins. Avalanche will become one of the biggest cryptocurrencies on the planet. They already have the most advanced crypto gaming ecosystem out there, with games like Off the Grid getting played by the largest streamers on the planet. It's not even close. They've got Ninja, Tim the Tatman, XQC, Shroud. The biggest streamers on the planet are playing Off the Grid. I've played it extensively, put over 60 hours over the past month. They also have MapleStory Universe. Everybody knows about MapleStory, 20-year-old IP, enormous. Got, what is it, like $100 million worth of funding. They have so much more. Far Away, I played in a $15,000 tournament. Shatterline is the game. Absolutely incredible game. If you haven't checked it out already, it's going to be launching in December. You should be doing research on it right now. They have a very extensive ecosystem very clearly. The Arena, their SocialFi app, is getting a ton of adoption, already started their airdrop. They're continuing to give more and more utility to it. Avalanche is going to be easily the most undervalued top 20 altcoin in this season. And so if you haven't done your research on Avalanche yet, I quite frankly don't know what you're doing. And this isn't from the speculation standpoint. This is more so from the standpoint that I believe the technology that they build with their L1 is going to be pivotal for the gaming space. It's going to be amazing for what gaming is trying to build. Their layer 1 technology, allowing people to build their own chains for their own games, is going to be key. If you're trying to build a game, you should probably be building it on Avalanche right now. So that's why I'm really excited for what Avalanche is building. Solana. Solana has run up a lot. I have had this as a cornerstone of my portfolio for the longest time. It's in a clear breakout right now and has gone from the FTX lows at, what, $8 all the way to $217. It's almost at all-time highs. If you're new to crypto, this is an easy trade. It's an easy trade. Is it going to go up like crazy? It's debatable. I think this definitely could catch up to Ethereum and already has been catching up to Ethereum for quite some time. It might continue to do that trend and continue to dominate over Ethereum. I believe that will be the case. I do think the Solana will continue to run because of the meme coin super cycle. Most meme coins are being built in Solana, which is driving more and more and more and more volume onto Solana. There's a network effect very clearly going on here that does not exist on Ethereum, which existed in Ethereum back in 2021. So if we're asking, what is the next Ethereum? Solana is very clearly positioned itself to be the next Ethereum. They've had issues before where their chain has gone down and people have freaked out. This issue, after FireDancer, after some of their upgrades, which have now gone ahead and created an environment where people could have multiple Solanas essentially right up at the same time. So if one goes down, the network doesn't immediately go down. It's called validators. And then they have solved the issues that they've had for the longest of time, which is a big deal for Solana. Have they solved everything? No, I don't think so. Is there enough for a proper gaming environment to exist? I don't know. It's debatable. But I do know that they are the winner. They're a very clear winner over Ethereum right now. Would I get into Ethereum this cycle? I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I'd rather just position into Solana. Solana is my Ethereum play. If you're going for the cryptocurrency that is most likely to become the #2 cryptocurrency, then it's going to be Solana. That is my personal opinion. Do your own due diligence on it, of course. Cardano. Like I talked about in the beginning of the video, Charles Hoskinson is going ahead and advising the US. Is that enough to moon Cardano? No, but there is a Bitcoin adjacent narrative that is happening on Cardano right now. They think they can be the next layer for Bitcoin. They think they can support Bitcoin to make it kind of like Ethereum. Well, if Cardano succeeds, then this market cap, let me tell you, is way too low. Now, could this all fall through? Yeah, of course, 100% it could. It could not materialize. There's a possibility of it. But if you're bullish on Bitcoin, if you're bullish on Charles Hoskinson's vision, well, Cardano's kind of a pretty good play right now. Sure, it's ran up, 72%. But let me tell you, if you look at this alt chart, it's not bad. It's a pretty good risk to reward. I mean, this thing at all-time highs was at $94 billion. Right now, it's at $20 billion. That's pretty good risk to reward. Bullish on Charles Hoskinson, bullish on Ethereum adjacent, bullish on Bitcoin adjacent. You're going to be bullish on Cardano. Dogecoin. Dogecoin is going to be the top meme coin this season. Not even close. It's not even going to be close. Dogecoin has dominated. It's easy. Elon Musk heavily backed Trump. And because he took this enormous risk, it paid off big. Trump won, and now Elon Musk is getting all of the fruits of his labor. X is dominating as a platform. X will likely integrate Dogecoin in some way or another, and that's leading to Dogecoin run. All I've got to say is if you were Elon Musk, please don't go back to SNL. Because when he went to SNL, this is what happened to the price of Dogecoin. It went up here, and then it went all the way back down. So please, Elon Musk, if you're listening to this video, do not go to SNL because we all want Dogecoin to go up, and we don't want you to go on SNL because if you went to SNL, the Dogecoin price would likely peak. Last one over here is 𝐵𝐸𝐴𝑥. This is my gaming play. It's currently the largest gaming play out there. They went ahead and got hit by a whales notice from the SEC. That's why the price went ahead and went down. I believe that this is probably a buy the news event. Honestly, you see the price go down because of this, and now you're buying because this will likely materialize into nothing. I have been very bullish on buying into things post lawsuits because of the fact that a lot of the times this means absolutely nothing negatively. Is it going to take a while for this to play out? Sure. But I think in terms of gaming and a gaming run, this will be very key. Of course, I'm looking at other tokens that haven't come out just yet, but I mean, what's the point of talking to something and it just hasn't really come out yet? There's no point in talking about something that hasn't come out yet. But obviously, if you're really that interested, I'll tell you something that hasn't launched that I'm very excited for. It was off the grid. The thing on Avalanche. I think their token's going to be a multi-billion-dollar FTV. It's going to be enormous. Now, whether or not you could actually get in before it gets at that multi-billion-dollar FTV, I don't know. I don't even think you're going to be able to. But you could try. You could definitely try. If you haven't tried out this game, I quite frankly do not know what you are doing. That's pretty much where my head's at in terms of altcoin season, in terms of crypto picks, in terms of just really everything going on right now within the crypto space. I hope I helped you. If I educated you in any way, please like and subscribe to this video. I'm going to leave the next video that I think you're going to be interested in. If you are, I'll see you on the next one.